Why billionaires are buying all the farmland. The shocking truth. For generations, the image of the family farm has been etched into our collective consciousness. It represents sustenance, tradition, and a connection to the land. But beneath this familiar landscape, a seismic shift is underway, one that could redefine our relationship with food, wealth, and the very planet we inhabit. Imagine a world where the most fundamental resource, the land that feeds us, is increasingly concentrated in the hands of a select few. This isn't a dystopian fantasy. It's a rapidly unfolding reality. Billionaires, titans of industry and finance, are quietly, yet aggressively, acquiring vast tracts of farmland across the globe. This isn't just about a few wealthy individuals buying a hobby farm. We are witnessing an unprecedented land grab, a strategic accumulation of agricultural assets on a scale that demands our immediate attention. The implications are profound, touching upon everything from global food security to environmental sustainability and the future of rural communities. What drives this insatiable appetite for arable land among the ultra-rich? What are the potential consequences for the rest of us? And what does this trend reveal about the vulnerabilities and opportunities within our global food system? This is not merely a story of investment. It is a narrative of power, control, and the fundamental shifts occurring in our world. Prepare to uncover the shocking truth behind why billionaires are buying all the farmland. But be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Also smash the bell notification so you don't have to miss any video. The numbers are staggering, and they paint a clear picture of an accelerating trend. Over the past decade, the acquisition of agricultural land by non-traditional investors, particularly the ultra-wealthy, has surged dramatically. This isn't just a domestic phenomenon, it's a global pattern, from the fertile plains of the American Midwest to the vast expanses of South America and Africa. Consider the scale. Hundreds of thousands, even millions, of acres are changing hands. These are not small parcels. These are industrial-scale acquisitions, transforming the landscape of land ownership. The traditional farmer, often operating on generational land, is increasingly competing with entities possessing virtually limitless capital. Perhaps the most prominent example, and one that has captured significant public attention, is Bill Gates. He has quietly become the largest private owner of farmland in the United States, holding over 270,000 acres across numerous states. He isn't an isolated case. He is merely the most visible face of a much broader movement. Other billionaires, hedge funds, and institutional investors are following suit, often operating with less public scrutiny. They are diversifying their portfolios, seeking tangible assets in an increasingly volatile financial world. The trend is clear. Farmland, once the domain of farmers, is now a prized commodity for the global elite. This shift represents a fundamental reevaluation of land as an asset class. It's no longer just about growing crops. It's about owning the very ground upon which our food system depends. The speed and scale of these acquisitions raise critical questions about market dynamics, equity, and the future of food production. The concentration of land ownership in fewer hands has historically led to significant societal changes. Today, with global populations rising and climate change impacting agricultural productivity, this trend takes on an even greater urgency. It's a game being played at the highest levels, with the stakes being nothing less than our collective future. Why are the world's wealthiest individuals pouring billions into farmland? The motivations are complex, multifaceted, and deeply rooted in both economic strategy and a keen understanding of global trends. This isn't a simple impulse buy. It's a calculated move, driven by a confluence of powerful forces. One primary driver is the perception of farmland as a smart, stable investment. Unlike volatile stocks or bonds, land is a finite resource that offers a tangible asset that can appreciate in value, provide consistent returns through leases or direct farming, and act as a hedge against economic instability. In times of uncertainty, hard assets like land become particularly attractive. Climate change, paradoxically, is another significant motivator. While it poses immense challenges to agriculture, it also creates opportunities for those with capital. Investing in resilient farming practices, advanced agricultural technology, and land in less climate-vulnerable regions can be seen as a strategic hedge against future food supply disruptions. The ability to control food production in a changing climate becomes a powerful advantage. The looming specter of food supply control also plays a role. As global populations continue to grow and arable land becomes scarcer, The ability to influence or even dictate food production could become an unparalleled source of power. Owning the means of production grants immense leverage in a world increasingly concerned about food security. Inflation hedging is another key factor. Farmland has historically proven to be an excellent hedge against inflation. As the cost of living rises, the value of tangible assets like land and the commodities produced from it tend to increase, preserving wealth and purchasing power. This makes it an attractive, safe haven for vast fortunes. Resource scarcity, beyond just land, is also a consideration. Water, a critical component of agriculture, is becoming increasingly precious. Owning farmland often means owning water rights. Securing access to this vital resource for future agricultural endeavors, this foresight, positions investors to capitalize on future resource constraints. Finally, the potential for technological innovation in agriculture presents a compelling case. Billionaires are not just buying land, they are investing in the future of farming. This includes precision agriculture, vertical farming, genetically modified crops, and sustainable practices that promise higher yields and efficiency. Owning the land allows them to implement and scale these innovations, potentially revolutionizing food production. These motivations converge to create a powerful incentive for the ultra-rich to acquire farmland. It's a strategic play for long-term wealth preservation, control over essential resources, and positioning for a future where food and land will only become more valuable. While the motivations for these acquisitions may seem purely economic, the potential consequences for society are far-reaching and deeply concerning. This concentration of land ownership is not a neutral act. It carries significant implications for food prices, rural communities, environmental health, and the very structure of our agricultural system. One of the most immediate concerns is the potential for higher food prices. When a few entities control vast swaths of productive land, they gain significant market power. This can lead to reduced competition, increased leverage over supply chains, and ultimately, the ability to dictate prices. For consumers, this could mean more expensive groceries, disproportionately impacting low-income households. The displacement of small and medium-sized family farmers is another critical consequence. These farmers often struggle to compete with the immense capital and economies of scale enjoyed by billionaire-backed operations. Rising land prices, driven by speculative investment, make it increasingly difficult for new farmers to enter the industry or for existing ones to expand. This threatens the very fabric of rural communities and the generational knowledge passed down through farming families. Environmental impact is a major concern. Large-scale, industrial agriculture, often favored by corporate owners, can lead to monoculture farming, excessive pesticide and fertilizer use, and depletion of soil health. While some billionaire investors claim to prioritize sustainable practices, the sheer scale of their operations can still exert immense pressure on ecosystems, leading to biodiversity loss and water pollution. The pursuit of maximum yield can sometimes override ecological considerations. The implications for food security are profound. A diversified agricultural landscape, with many independent producers, offers resilience against shocks. If food production becomes concentrated in the hands of a few, any disruption to those large operations, whether from climate events, economic downturns, or even geopolitical tensions, could have catastrophic effects on national and global food supplies. This creates a single point of failure in a system that should be robust and distributed. Furthermore, the shift in ownership can lead to a loss of local control and democratic oversight over food systems. Decisions about what to grow, how to grow it, and where to distribute it may no longer be made by local communities or even national governments, but by distant corporate boards or individual billionaires. This erodes food sovereignty and the ability of communities to shape their own food future. The very nature of land ownership is being redefined. Land is not just an asset, it is a fundamental resource for life, culture, and community. When it becomes primarily a financial instrument, its broader societal value can be overlooked, leading to decisions driven solely by profit rather than public good. These consequences demand careful consideration and proactive measures to safeguard our food systems and our planet. The trend of billionaires acquiring vast tracts of farmland is more than just an economic curiosity. It is a profound shift with far-reaching implications for every one of us. It challenges our assumptions about food security, environmental stewardship, and the equitable distribution of wealth and power. This is not a distant problem. It is unfolding now, shaping the future of our plates and our planet. The stakes are incredibly high. Our ability to feed a growing global population, to protect our natural resources, and to ensure a just and sustainable future hinges on how we respond to this evolving landscape of land ownership. This issue demands our attention, our understanding, and our collective action. We must ask ourselves, what kind of food system do we want to build? One that is resilient, equitable, and sustainable, or one that is increasingly controlled by a powerful few? The choices we make today will determine the answers for generations to come. This conversation is just beginning. It requires open dialogue, informed debate, and a willingness to explore innovative solutions. We need to consider policies that support small farmers, promote sustainable agriculture, and ensure that land remains a resource for the many, not just the privileged few. Your voice in this discussion is crucial. What do you think about this trend? How do you believe it will impact our future? Share your thoughts, your concerns, and your ideas. This is a critical moment for our food, our planet, and our future. Let's engage with this challenge together. This is just one piece of a much bigger picture. Watch the next video to explore the full story. What you'll discover might surprise you.